Right, so this is in your pink notes from yesterday. It's on the back of the second page of your notes. We're going to be talking about percents. A percent is a type of ratio. So guess what we're still going to use? Ratio box. But instead we changed the name slightly. Who's working with percents, guess what it's going to be called? Percent box. Oh, it's just smart. Okay, a percent box, I know you're super curious, looks like this. Looks like a ratio box, correct? Wow. Except the wonderful thing about a percent box is that the labels are already pre-done for you. So like it's the same labels every single time. On your percent box over here, these will always be percents. Always. This box will always be a 100. Always. Okay? Always. When you're talking about a percent box. The labels over here are is and of or part to the total. Because it's like a fraction. When we talk about a fraction, the part is on the top and the total is on the bottom. The reason we put a 100 right there is because that a 100% means a whole. If I have a 100% battery life on my phone, what does that mean? I have full battery. It's completely full, right? Can I go any higher than 100% battery life? No. If I can 100% download a song, is it completely downloaded? Yes. Okay, so this is the total percent that we can have is 100. So when solving percent, if we use this box and you put it in the right box, it's the same pattern every single time. It doesn't matter what percent problem you're doing, you'll get it right. Another way, because y'all like different strategies, if you're finding the percent of a number, so if you're starting with the total, okay, and you have the percent, you want to figure out what part that is. If we were trying to figure out the part, you can follow these steps right here. The first part would be to change the percent to a decimal. And a quick way to change a percent to a decimal is by using your handy dandy calculators. Okay? If I wanted to create 16%, I would type in 16 on my calculator. If I want to make 16% as a decimal, type in 16. I hit the green second button and the first parentheses. If you look at the first parentheses, you see a little percent sign above it? If you hit that, it should show 16% on your calculator. If you hit enter, it changes it to a decimal for you. So 16% as a decimal would be what? 0.16. All right, so you would change the percent to a decimal, and then you would multiply the decimal by the original number. And that sounds real easy and great, but this only works when you're trying to find the is box. The percent box works when you're trying to find, you can find each one of those. It works for any of the boxes. Okay? So before we start solving, I want us to think about, when do we use percents in our life? When do you see percentages in your everyday life, Maddie? Scores and grades, right? Like if you make a 95, that's a 95%. Ava. Phone battery percentage, phone percentage, or usage percentage. Have y'all seen that? Like where it breaks down what apps you use the most and the percentage and stuff. Kennedy? Do what? All right, and ingredients in cooking. I like it. Where else do you see percent? Gavin? Like how much percentage of a chemical is in that? So like cooking and labels and stuff. Gracie? What? Oh, car, like how much gas you have left in your car. Yeah. Or when you go to the gas pump and it has like 100% ethanol or it has this percentage of ethanol and things like that. Yeah. What about in sports? When you have your batting averages and accuracies and things like that. We see percentages in our sports. What happens the day after Thanksgiving? Black Friday, my shoppers. What is significant about Black Friday? Sale. 30% off, 60% off, 40% off, 100% off. I mean it's free. But they don't do that.
99% off. The store.
All right, so when we're shopping and we see discounts, we see percent. What about when I go to buy something? What do they tack on to your price? Taxes. Taxes are a percentage. In Cochran, we have an 8% sales tax. So if you go into Walmart and you buy $10 worth of groceries, you don't get to pay just $8. You have to pay $8 and the 8% tax. So you actually have to pay $10.80. Alright, fancy restaurant, you go to sit down, maybe Scott's, La Cabana, Longhorn, Applebee's. Okay, they bring you the bill. What is the appropriate, polite thing to do for the waitress?
I don't want to pay it.
A tip.
50% tip.
Alright, tips typically should be between 15 to 20% of your meal for the waitress or waiter. Okay, percentages are all around us. I usually use percentages the most when I'm shopping because I'm a shopaholic. I like deals. I like to do clearance and things like that. I do like some shopping. So now that we know percents are all around us, let's figure out how we can solve some of these percents, okay? So we have a question right here. It says find 15% of $80. Let's say we go out to a nice restaurant, okay? It's your birthday and your parents take you out to where y'all want to eat.
Most steakhouse.
Longhorn, okay? We go to Longhorn, or we go to a Chinese restaurant or somewhere like that that doesn't have a drive-through that we sit down at, okay? And we get our waitress and all that. Your meal is $80, okay? That's the price of the meal. You need to figure out how much tip you're going to leave. You know you want to leave a 15% tip, so how much are we going to leave? You have two different options, okay? We can do the percent box or we can follow our steps, okay? If we follow our steps and we change the percent to a decimal, what is 15% as a decimal? 0.15. We're going to take that 0.15 and multiply it by the original number, which is 80. So 0.15 times 80 gives me what? 12. So I would need to leave a $12 tip. So you can do it that way, or we can put it in our percent box. Okay? This is our percent box. And you say right now, I'd rather do it on my calculator, but what's going to happen is when we throw you for a loop and you're trying to find the percent instead of the is part. And I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. All right, the percent box works. If we have 15%, that symbol percent, guess where that 15 is going to go? In the percent box. And then we have of 80. Guess where the of 80 is going to go? In the of box. So if I cross multiply 80 times 15 and divide it by 100, what do I get? I get 12. All right? I get the same thing. All right, I would get 12. 15% of 80 is 12, so we have to leave a $12 tip. If we're leaving a $12 tip, what's the total price of that meal? $80 and the tip. So altogether, how much are you going to spend?
$92.
$92.
15%. Personally, I just 100.
All right. All right. If we have 28% of 150, this is a really fancy meal.
Real fans.
Like at the Disney World eating in Cinderella's castle fancy.
Okay.
So
$1.
we pay 150. You pay $150 for your family to eat in Cinderella's castle. Okay? You're going to leave a 28% tip. How much money is that going to be? If I put it in my percent box, what's going to go in this box down here? 100. What's going to go above that 100? 28%. What's my labels off to the side? Is and of. So where's the 150 go? Of. And now you just solve. You cross multiply 150 times 28 divided by 100 gives you what? 42. So your tip alone is going to be how much money? $42. Alright? If my meal is 150 and my tip is 42, how much have I spent? $192. Okay? So that's how we would do that. Alright, so the next way we do percent, we talk about percent, it's like finding your grades. Okay? This is how we find how you make a test. So your test next week, has 30 questions. Okay? Let's say you get 25 out of the 30 questions correct. What grade is that? So you get, what did I say? 25 out of 30 correct. What is your percent? If you would put this in your percent box, what's my labels off to the right? Percent. What goes in my bottom right? 100. What's my labels off of here? Is first, then, and a way to remember that is I becomes before O in the alphabet. Okay? My key word here that I see right off the bat is of 30. So where's 30 gonna go? In the of box. If I get stumped right here and I don't know what to do I have a percent sign in that problem? Is any number up here attached to a percent? So can it go in the percent box? No. This 25 is the part that I got right. So that 25 is going to go in the part, the is part. And now I can calculate my grade. So I would do 25 times 100 divided by 30. Divided by 30.
83.3.
83.3 with a 3 repeating, right? That would be your grade. So if you got 25 out of the 30, you would have an 83. That's how you would solve for that. Alright, so the percent box, like I said, will work for any of the percent problems. Okay? So I would lean towards using the percent box. Okay. Are there any questions on how to put this into the percent box? Yes, ma'am.
Well, tonight, so what, do we have to use percent box?
Yes. Judy? It doesn't. Any other questions? Alright, I'm gonna stop this.